Hello, I'm Mike Keeper and I'll be very pleased to show you around this fascinating, fine Suffolk church. It's in a little village just not far from Bury St Edmunds in West Suffolk. Although Suffolk churches generally have got many interesting things, being historic, this one I think has got a few more treasures than most. Anyway, I hope you find it interesting, and as I go around I'll point out some of the little features that are there, and I hope you enjoy. As you see, the church sits way back from the main road which it's located on, and has quite a wide churchyard. The workings of the rather handsome tower clock has at some stage been replaced more recently, and the old original works and movement are now on display close to the front of the church, as you will see in the video later. It's unusual to see the daffodils out so early in February, but very welcome and makes a nice picture. That's probably not the best face to confront you on a dark night. The early 15th century font is in quite good condition, and it still has the dedication inscription on it. The benches are simple box type and early 15th century. Somehow they seem to fit in very well with the style of the church and are in good condition. I think that they have survived the very violent transitions over the centuries and have seated generation upon generation of Hessett people. The chancel is separated from the nave by a 15th century rood screen. It's beautifully and elegantly painted with gilt, and there's wonderful tracery, very intricately carved above. It's been fitted with attractive iron gate, possibly some Anglo-Catholic enthusiasm here in the early 20th century. When you step through the past the screen, there are lots of wall plaques, very interesting to read the inscriptions on them. Well worth a visit. Moving along the north aisle, we've come across this painting. It shows the 7 deadly sins. 2 devils look on as from the mouth of hell a great tree sprouts, ending in 7 images. Pride is at the top, and then in pairs beneath are gluttony, anger, vanity, envy, avarice, and lust. On the wall behind the altar there are a set of 4 beautifully rendered plaques, complete with nice borders, painted and brightly coloured, and they include the 10 Commandments. As you can see, here is that one. St Ethelberts at Hessett has a rather unique thing that elevates it above all other Suffolk churches, and indeed all the churches of England. For St Ethelbert is the proud owner of two unique survivals. At the back of the church is a chest. You will see it later on in the video. No different from those you'll find in many a parish church. In common with these, it has three separate locks. The idea being that the rector and two church wardens would have a key each, and it would be necessary for all three of them to be present for the chest to be opened. It was used for storing parish records and valuables. However, at some point one of the keys was lost. It was not opened until much later in the 19th century. Inside were found two extraordinary pre-Reformation survival. These are a pyx cloth and a burse. The pyx cloth was draped over the wooden canopy that enclosed the Blessed Sacrament. The burse was used to contain the host before consecration at the Mass. They are England's only surviving examples, and they're both here. Well, actually they're not here because they've gone into the British Museum, and in fact the church just has two photos which you can see here. The beautiful little church was named for a Saxon king of East Anglia who was murdered in 794. There's many other treasures within the church that's not shown in this video, including wall paintings, one featuring St Christopher, and also the gorgeous medieval glass which has many stories to tell. So well worth a visit, and I would recommend it. If you like churches, this is the one to come and see. The pub is called the Five Bells, reflecting the number of bells in the church, and it was built in the 14th century at the same time as the church, which is fairly unusual.